I got up really early the other day when it was really, really dark and it was a very clear night. Um, and as you know, I love nature, so I decided I'm going to look for some stars. And as I looked up into the sky, I only saw a handful. Um, I live in an area where it's elevated a little bit, and I can see the lights in the whole valley, and they were sparkling. It was very beautiful, and I was just looking around and I saw all of these lights in the valley, but very, very few stars. So as I looked around, I thought, why couldn't I see so many stars? I mean, I've lived in my house for a long time, and I remember years ago that I was able to view this many more stars up in the night sky. So why couldn't I do it now? So as I thought about this, I realized that a lot has changed. The city has expanded, and actually the population has almost doubled since I've lived here. So there's been a lot of things that have expanded and created, and it's created an impact on the infrastructure. I mean, you have more people, more houses, more businesses, more roads, more industrial parks. I mean, there's just more. And so that just means that there's more lights in the valley. So the reality is we have a lot of light pollution. Now, it's important to have light when it's dark. I mean, we don't want people driving around crashing into each other because they didn't turn their headlights on. We need to have light in the dark. But it got me thinking about the difference between natural light and fabricated or artificial light. So when I look up into the night sky, it's not that the stars have disappeared. It's just that I can't see them. I'm blinded to them because of all of the artificial light that's out there. Um, my eyes can't see both. And so the natural light is being drowned out by all of the artificial light. It's the same with spiritual light. It's often hidden because all we can see or pay attention to is all the fake light that's out there. And what do I mean by fake light? Something that it professes to be good, but it really isn't. So I'm thinking of anything that promotes anger or contention or harm to any of God's children. Anything that causes us to disrespect one another or to belittle one another, anything that brings darkness into our soul is not light, even if it professes to be so. It's the artificial light that we're paying attention to. So we have to remember that we can disagree with each other without being contentious or angry or abusive or belittling or disrespectful. Differences of opinion don't require that. They're just differences, and we can talk those things out. So I'm not saying that you can't have a difference. You can still have light and have a difference of opinion. That's okay. But when it becomes dark and professes to be light, that's when we get into trouble. So there are many people who profess to be enlightened and have the truth and want you to follow them because they have, quote, the light. But it's not true light if it causes harm or if it robs you of feelings of compassion and kindness toward other people, even the people that you disagree with. So how do we tell the difference between this artificial light that is surrounding us and the true light? Well, for me, I turn to Jesus Christ, who is the light and life of the world. By following him, following his example, keeping his commandments, and especially the first two great commandments, which is to love God and to love my neighbor as myself. If I can just focus on those two things, then I can start to discern true light. Because if the light doesn't have compassion, kindness, and love, it's a fake light. But it's really, really hard because there are a lot of very attractive and actually maybe even logical or voices that seem to be true. But like I say, you just have to be careful, because there's a lot of dark stuff out there, and it can actually turn us away from the true light. So what can we do knowing the difference between the true light and the artificial light, the dark light that's going to bring us down? Well, get away from the distractions. Stop giving them so much attention. When I want to see the stars at night, I go to a remote place where I don't see the lights of the city. They're not competing against this night sky. And when I do this and I go to these areas that are remote and removed, I can see millions, literally millions of stars in the Milky Way. Those handful of stars become very broad, very big, and I see lots and lots of pure light, because I'm not focusing on the artificial light, or I'm not surrounding myself with the artificial light that drowns out the true light of the sky. So the same is true if you step away from the artificial light that you have surrounded yourself with, the lights that distract you from the true spiritual light. You can actually see more and feel more at peace when you can discern between the two, when you have removed yourself from the distractions, when those aren't so powerful in your life, then you can start to see the true light and remove yourself from the darkness of this world. There is another light in the night sky that is always there. Even with a lot of light pollution, I can always see it, and that is the light of the moon. And it's really remarkable to me that the moon doesn't generate any of its own light. It's all reflected light. And this light is so powerful that you don't even have to have a full moon. You can see just even a sliver of the moon. The light is so strong. I've even been able to see it during the daytime. That reflected light is so powerful. I've even seen the light shine through dark clouds at night. And that is remarkable to me, that reflected light of the sun is so powerful that we can see it in many, many circumstances, and it doesn't go away. It's not diminished by the other lights that are artificial. It's the same for each of us. If we're willing to reflect the light of the sun, meaning the Son of God, we can have incredibly powerful light to guide us and others through this dark world, through the reflected light of the sun. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed and consumed by artificial light, or even feel like you're in the dark in this world, look for people who truly reflect God's light. Now, these people are kind, and they're respectful, they're loving, and they will help lift and help you see the good in the world. They're positive. They just really help you move from the darkness. And it's not just people that you agree with. Look for those people who truly reflect good, pure light. And then be one of those people. Be one of those people that reflects the light of the sun, so that others can be drawn to true, pure light, not the artificial light of this world. So let God be the most important influencer in your life and reflect the light that He gives you. And you will be a light of the world as well. So remember, growth happens a little bit at a time. It's not rushed, and it takes time. And it'll take time to bring true light into this world, but we can do it. So just remember, no matter what, don't give up. Do a little bit each day. Reflect a little bit of light, because that little bit of reflected light is so powerful. It cuts through anything that's artificial, and it can't blind it. So remember, as you're on this journey, find those with good that reflect the light of the sun. become one of those people who reflects the light of the sun. And no matter what, just keep growing.